Thanks for joining me today. I actually just want to say a little something. We're going to use Sculpey to make all kinds of fun things tonight. There's a lot you can do with Sculpey. It's a lot of fun, and if you have kids, they can often do a lot of stuff with this too. I can hear my son playing with Bogey on the inside. It sounds funny. But before I get started on that, there's just something I really want to let you know. If anybody else is having chronic back pain, I mean, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I've had that for, gosh, it started when I was 16 because I got a bad case of mono on the way. Like we were apple picking, and it was like the perfect storm. I was starting to pass out because I was coming down with mono. We didn't know what I had, but I was feeling ill, so we had to go, and they had to pretty much carry me to the car. And then we got in on the way home. We got T-boned in a car accident. And I think a lot of stuff got out of whack from that, and I never even got checked for anything because I was so sick with the mono, and my throat was so swollen I couldn't even swallow. So I lost 20 pounds of water weight, which is scary. So anyway, this has been a very, very long issue for me, and I've been in a lot of pain, even when the fibro wasn't like flared up really, really bad, and it was always bothering me most days until like the last few years, or last couple of years actually. I still was really stiff and tight, and you forget what normal is. So I was way worse than I even thought I was because you work up a tolerance. So anyway, I just happened to be recently like, I've been working hard to try to get better. I'm totally back on my feet. And, you know, more like 100%, you know, like I'm not going to stop at like, 60 or whatever, 65, 70, whatever. I'm going to get to 100%. So I looked up sciatica pain, and I know that my sacrum tips. So one hip is higher than the other, and that's when the fibro, I don't know if it really is fibro or not, but that's when it flares, so that I have all over really, really bad pain. So I'm like, well, what can I do to help that? Because I've already been to chiropractors. I went for 2 years to a chiropractor, like once or twice a week. And it was great. It helped, but it was a Band-Aid. And so I've been to physiologists. I've been to, I've done a lot of PT. And the PT was actually making it worse at some point. I'm getting shots in my neck, and it doesn't hurt. They're super fine needles, but oh my gosh, it really does help. But that's just the neck, and even then it wasn't alleviating all the neck pain. I'm telling you, I looked up and I found, I just happened to find Emily Lark, her name is, and she, I'm not affiliated with her at all. I just happened to find her and some stretches and stuff, the program that she's got. And I don't get like a bonus or whatever, anything for like getting anybody else to get this, but it's just such a life changer for me. A couple nights ago I was crying because I was so happy because I'm in so much less pain, and it happened within minutes, like literally just doing these stretches. And you wouldn't think something that simple could work that well in such a short time when I've been struggling with this for years and years and years and years and years. It's amazing. I mean, my migraines are going away. I mean, because, if things are pinched, it's just not good. So the circulation, I can feel it flowing now. So I just want to tell you guys about this. I'm going to post some of her, a few of the stretches that I have down below. If you do them, if you have issues, you do them and they feel great, look up her Back to Life program. I'm starting that, and I've been doing that for maybe 4 or 5 days now, something like that. Oh, I love it. It's amazing. 10 minutes, that's it. So I just wanted to say that because it's seriously life-changing. I cannot believe. And I just want other people to have the help that they need. I wish I would have had this a long time ago, but I'm just so thrilled to have it now. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's get to the Sculpey. I'm wearing a Pokemon necklace. This is made out of Sculpey. I don't know if you can hear. It's hard because it hardens up. You bake it in the oven. And it's a polymer clay. It's really cool. And this is what it looks like before you use it, and you just can mold it into whatever. I have some some lips here too that I did. I like to make these into business card holders, but like you can make anything, you know. And oh, I had, let me see, that I had, we're doing Minecraft stuff too. I thought I had those. Well, I'm gonna make one anyway. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. This is Steve from Minecraft. And we actually got some, these are actually, I won't say real beads, but like, semi-precious gemstones. And we got like the quartz and the, is it the tourmaline or the onyx? Well, I feel like there's another one that I'm missing that is associated with Minecraft. But anyway, there's a black stone. And so we got some of the stones associated with Minecraft and put it on a bracelet for my son. And, you know, the kids thought it was cool. And this is from last summer. We did a Pokemon day. So if you don't know what to do with your kid, if you have kids and you don't know what to do with them because it's, you know, summertime, and here comes my kid, and Rogie, you can turn to them real quick. Oh, he's hiding again. Did you have fun doing the, do you remember?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. And so we did, I made some of these, the kids got to make some stuff, and like I made up, where's this? We braided the, what do you call it, embroidery thread, and so they could make their bracelet, and I had already made these little Pokeballs, and they got to put those on, and we had some necklaces like that, and it was a lot of fun. And I have a laminator, but you don't have to use that. But if you know, just like we did a Pokemon day, I even got a big box, and I'll see if I can find any pictures, but we decorated it so that we could throw bean bags into it, and it looked, you know, it was Pokemon themed. It was cute. And so we did, you know, I think we had a Pokemon Yahtzee, and they loved the bingo, and we did the bingo with Smarties as like the markers, so of course, you know, they really love that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that's like, like this year I think we're gonna try to do, we decided on Minecraft, right honey? We're gonna try to do something with Minecraft, and like I said, you know, it'll probably involve this kind of stuff too. So let's see. I was going to do Steve. Let me see. I think I ran out of, what do you call it? The skin colored, the flesh colored, and I don't have anything to like, because I could mix that myself if I had all the colors, because I used to do that with, in college, I did oils. Well, let me see, maybe, hey Max, could you do me a favor? Would you be able to look up, oh wait a minute, maybe we have it right here. Oh, that's Pokemon. Could you look up a, like a creeper? Should I do a creeper, or what's the other, because I have green.
Zombies and creepers.
Yeah, zombies and creepers. Which one should I do? Which one do you think is simpler?
I would do a creeper just because it's smaller.
Okay.
And it has less.
Well, think about the face. I'm probably just doing the face.
Okay. Yeah, it has less like flesh colors in its face.
Oh, okay. Could you grab your phone and pull it up? Oh, you have your phone. My husband has his phone. He's gonna pull it up for me. I mean, I kind of know what it looks like, but I can't remember exactly. Okay.
It's just like a.
So I'm just warming this up. It's hard. It's pretty hard at first. Like now that you can't push on it at all, but you really need to get it warmed up in your hands. And then, you know, then you can do whatever with it. Ah, yes, there we go. Okay, so I don't know. I'm gonna use a little bit of red to make some of the green darker. I could use black too, but I might even, I'll do both. I'm actually gonna, yeah, I think I might do both. don't know if I have any. I think I used all the white up. I'm gonna have to get some more. I think I used, you probably couldn't hear me with the rustling bag. I think I used all the white up. Doing other things, but I will do, I'll do a pair of lips to show you how I did those. And the Pokeballs are really, really fun. But I don't know that people are all that much into Pokemon anymore. So I'll do the creeper and the lips probably. Sounds good. Okay, so let me grab, I'm going to grab a little bit. Oh, I have some, yeah, some red. And when you're not working on it, it's good to put it in a bag. Just because it can start to get a little bit dried out. I also like to have wipes. I mean, it doesn't have to be antibacterial. This is just what I had available. Makeup wipes work too, just to get, see, I don't know if you can see, I'm getting some green on my hands. So if I change to a different color, I don't want that to mix, although in this case I do, but. Okay. So I just need a teeny bit of each color. So I'm just gonna mix. I gotta get back into oil painting. Oh my gosh, it's just, I love mixing my own colors. I had a fabulous professor that made you do like the hard stuff in the beginning, but boy did it pay off. Like, it was a pain in the butt assignment, but the first one he gave us was doing squares, like making a grid of like, I think it was like 2 by 2 inch squares on this big sheet of paper, or like canvas paper I think it was, or something. And you had to use only a palette knife, and you had to, you know, mix, like, I think one row was all different shades of green. You had to mix black with one, you had to mix white with one, you had to mix yellow, you had to mix blue, whatever, and across the whole thing. And then the next would be, you know, blue, and then red and yellow and whatever. And you couldn't mix, let the oils mix. But boy, was that smart, because first of all, you were taught, you know, mixing colors. Yeah, that's perfect. And then do I have yellow. Thought I had yellow. I could even use a little blue too. I've got blue. Just so the greens look a little bit different than ours would be perfect. Yeah, that'll be good. I'm really not seeing the red, so actually that'll be okay. Yeah, and also, so you learned really quickly how not to mix the colors, because you'd get your square perfect, and then if you got the next one over and you'd mess it up, you're like, ah, you know? So, so you learn pretty quickly how not to do that. And that's probably one of the trickier things with working with oils, is understanding how they work. And you know, you can break the rules, and you can get them a little muddy to make brighter colors pop even more, but you have to know how to use them. So I thought he was a pretty brilliant teacher. I so appreciated that he had us do that, because it really helped. Oops. Okay, so I'm just mixing my different greens. So if you were doing this, you'd probably want some white too, or yeah, some white. You could use yellow to make the greens, you know, those kinds of greens, more yellowish green. But, you know, I'm going to have a few different colors, and I think that'll give the effect enough, especially with the black. Yeah, this was a good one to do. Okay. All right, so I have those 3 colors. Might want, I'm going to put a little bit of black in one. I almost think I have a black open, but I might have used it up. Yeah, I used it up. So I'll grab a new one. And you can do beads with these too. You can make your own beads. You know, I'll show you how to do that too. Maybe in, well, we'll see how much time this takes. I don't want to like bore you guys or anything, but hey, Boogity Boogity. Anybody else have pets? Like, isn't it funny how many different names you give your pets, like nicknames? Like we call him, his name's Bogart, we call him Bogey, we call him Bogues, Boogity. Oh, I call him Pupkin too, because he's a puppy. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that gives me some different greens. That should be, I think that should be good. They're not, like, they're kind of close in gradient, you know, but or value is really what I mean. They're all, you know, they're all about close, but it'll work. So I think I'm just going to use this one as the base. And I just kind of roll a round ball, and I think I'm going to make one a little flatter like this, but I'll still make it kind of a cube. I'll show you first before I flatten it, because sometimes I do cubes for like Steve is almost like, he's a flatter. It's not quite a cube, and that's kind of how I'm going to do this one now. But let me just show you, if you want to make a cube, you might already know this if you remember, you know, playing with Play-Doh and all that, but, you know, it's been a while for a lot of us, right? If you have kids, you get to play all over again. That's a cool thing. Or nieces or nephews, grandkids. But I just kind of like to do that and just like jiggle it to get it. See, if you jiggle it, look at how, let me just get it real quick. I mean, you got to square it off, but it gets it nice and even and flat. If you don't, sometimes it dips in the middle because your thumb is going down, and then that kind of fixes it if you do that. And you can do that to the sides too. Just kind of jiggle it. So you can make an actual cube, but I'm going to flatten this out a little bit more. Ooh, I just got kind of a little bit of an idea. I think I'm going to make it into a bead. It's not going to be totally... Jiggle. I mean, look at how that really gets it nice and flat. I'm trying on the last one not to press too much on this one so that I don't ruin how flat, nice and flat that is. But the other side can be the back anyway. So okay. So what I'm gonna do, because I think I'm going to take. I have a. Is this like, what do you call it? Is it like, we call it the turkey sticks? I don't know. This is what my husband likes to skewer, like the, I mean, we haven't used them in a long time. These are older ones, but skewer the meat for the rotisserie to help it cook faster. But like anything, you know, thin and pointy, you can use. And I just like to poke a hole. I'm going to try to make sure I get it nice and straight so that it comes out. Yeah, came out pretty good on the other side. And just kind of, then I just sort of jiggle it, because you want to make sure that the hole is going to be big enough that you can actually thread it. And then you have to clean out that side a little bit, so I just like to take my thumbnail and just sort of pull away the edges, because that can close up and then you can't get your elastic or whatever wire or whatever you're using to make the bracelet. Yeah. And I just sort of put a little nail hole. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so I got the hole in there now. And now I'm gonna start doing the little squares. And what I did when I made Steve is I kind of just did little tiny snakes and then just squared it up like I did this. And that's how I got the little, you know, the little squares. I'm trying to think, it might have been, I can't remember if it was bigger than that or not. So this would definitely have to be some older kids, or they could, or if they were younger, they might be able to make this, and then you could help them do the detail, because the detail can kind of be a little bit of a pain. No, you know what? I mean, I can do it this way. I think I did teeny tiny. Did I do tiny little balls and square them up? That's probably more work. It's been a little while. Okay. And they can be kind of a little bit flat. You don't want them to be too raised because you got to stick them on there. So then I take a knife. Oh, this is how I squared things up too. It works great to just press it in against the knife a little bit. Let me do it on this side too so you can see, because then you get a nice, oops, you don't spear it, you get a nice clean edge that way. Okay, and then I'll just press, see how nice and flat that when you just gently press it. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is just cut it up into little squares. And this is actually relaxing to me because this is all I'm thinking about when I do it, but I could understand for some people that you might be like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing all that work. You know, I feel that way like with embroidery, like what is it, the cross stitch? Oh my gosh, I think that would stress me out. I don't think I could do that. Crocheting relaxes me, beading relaxes me, this relaxes me, but you know, everybody's relaxing thing can be different. So then I just, you know, put it on. Now I have to allow for the face too. But I'm just going to put the squares, you know, in different places. And so I'm going to get my other greens all set before I make up the black. My bracelets. Okay. Okay, that should be enough. Plenty. Probably more than I need. Okay. And which other color did I? It's getting hard to see. I think I did that one and that one. And so this one I just have to do. Okay. All right. We did with the kids too, which we might do again because they really enjoyed it. Have you heard of corner book squares that you do with kids? It's like a really cool way that you fold paper, and the square just goes on the corner of the book. It's really cute, and we did it last summer, and so Max was 7. So, and he made them when he was younger too. It depends on, you know, depends on your kid, I guess. But yeah, so even younger kids can do it, and you might, especially like you could cut up all the face, like some of the faces they can draw on, and then other ones might need to have some like squares cut out or whatever in different colors. But let me just square that edge too real quick. Yeah, but I'll post the link for that too. And you know, anytime you can encourage reading, that's always a good thing too. And they kind of like to use their bookmark, you know, after they make it and read and test it out. So, okay. Some of those colors are looking pretty similar now that I got them all here, but all right, yeah, let me do I did those 3 greens. I'm going to do the black now. Get a little black. Oh wait, did I already? That's green. It's getting hard to, is it right? That's green. It's getting hard to tell in the dark. There we go, that's good. You know, while I'm thinking about, I was just thinking about the ring light. That's what my husband just turned on, just clips right onto your phone. But let me know if anybody, you know, watches this live or on the replay. Just let me know if you'd be interested in learning how to make your own ring light, like a bigger one. Because there's an inexpensive way to make that. And then you just have to like figure out what you're going to use for a stand or make a stand. But there's things that you can use for a stand too. Ooh, that would be a fun. Maybe maybe one week we could do the. Because if you're just trying to take, if you like to take like family pictures too, and you have like a little thing, or like on my camera, not my phone, but my camera, it's got a little 10-second timer, which is really fun. It always gets us laughing because it never seems like quite enough time, or something will happen right before the thing goes off, and it's just, you know, the camera goes off and it just cracks us up. But okay, so I just gotta look at his face. So I need some squares. I'm going to cut 2 squares for the eyes, then I can work the other squares around it. Oh, so what I was going to say is maybe we could do, if enough people are interested, maybe we could do the ring light. Use a wire, like a wreath frame, and then you use the tube lights and zip ties. I mean, it's pretty easy, but it's pretty cool. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm excited. And then maybe the next week, it could be like a 2-part thing, and the next week we can make the stand out of PVC pipe. Okay, so if you happen to be interested in that, let me know. And I'm going to do 2 more squares because I think that's what I need for, and I need a rectangle. Is it going to be too big for, I think that would be perfect actually. I'm sorry, if you can't hear me, I'm just talking to myself. Is the rectangle I'm thinking about making going to be big enough? I'm sure some people think that I'm crazy when I'm in the store and just like muttering to myself, oh, she must not have taken her meds today. I have some funny stories I could tell you too. For when I was in college and I was so sick with, you know, not recovering from mono and having fibro and having no names for anything, because that was way before anybody knew anything about those things. And you're fine, and no, not at all. But I have some really funny stories. Like the one time I was at Buff State, and I was in a huge, like, okay, so the thing that I had was low blood pressure. It's called POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. I hardly have that problem anymore, as long as I, you know, take care of myself. And honestly, I think with my back being so much better now, I think the pinching was causing a lot of that, because the vagus nerve can be pinched, and then that can cause it, and they definitely know that's a cause. Okay, so here's a rectangle for the nose, and you can transfer them like this. Okay, I will get back to the story. There's the little nose right there. And then now I'm going to do the, hopefully there'll be enough, I think there's enough room. Let me just cut this down a little. Again, with the talking to myself. So I was going through, maybe I shouldn't have trimmed that, but let's see. I was going through the turnstile thing at, you know what, and I'm just going to cut this right while it's on here. As long as you're gentle and you don't put the knife into it, you can do that, usually. Oh, okay, no, the whole thing came off. That's okay. I'm just going to cut it. Oh no, there goes my nose. Get that back on there. Okay, we need that there. Okay, I'm just going to make this a little bit thinner. I think that might work. Okay. So I'm going through the turnstile, right? And I go in the wrong way. And I go in, so the low blood pressure, what happens is the heart rate goes really fast to compensate. And so the adrenaline is pumping. That's how your body does it. It kicks out a lot of adrenaline to keep you from passing out, you know, because the blood pressure's low. So anyway, I am going at full speed, you know, really fast, through the wrong way through this turnstile. Well, when I get to it, of course it doesn't budge, right? So I do a flying leap, like a dive roll over the thing, roll right up, and keep walking like nothing happened. It had to be the funniest thing. Oh my gosh, people thought I was on drugs, or Cirque du Soleil was actually in town at that point, so they might have thought I was part of them. Oh God. While I was telling the story, I wasn't paying attention to this as well, so like I got to try to smooth it out a little bit, but it will be fine. Okay. All right. So now I'm just going to put where's the black eyes? Over there. Oh gosh, another story. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what happens with that is, because you're literally not getting enough blood to the brain. I mean, not enough to cause brain damage or anything, but enough so that it doesn't function very well, right? So I was talking to this girl that I had just, she was barely an acquaintance, right? And she had gotten her hair cut really short, and I thought it was super cute. Well, I tried to say that. Well, the words came out like neurological, like processing issues. So the words came out like very, very enthusiastically. I really hate your hair. And I was like, and I just walked away, because how the heck can you explain? You can't. Especially when you don't have a name for what's going on with you. But it makes a great story now. All right, so I'm just adding some different colors of the green, just to make it look kind of Minecrafty. Push them in a little bit more. Yeah, I really think to make it look better, kind of needs the, I mean, there we go. I won't, do the whole thing, because it's just going to take forever, but Let me show you real quick the beads. The lips are really easy. I just did, and I don't know if you'd even want to make them anyway, but Valentine's Day. But yeah, what you do for those is you just do the snakes, and then you just kind of bunch it in the middle to make this pop up, and you just roll it a little bit here and here to give it that shape. It's you play with it and you'll get the feel for it. But anyway, let me show you the beads real quick. So we're gonna do let's do blue and green, because I have blue and green open. You know what though? I want that one. Okay, and I am going to clean my hands real quick for this so I don't contaminate the beautiful blue turquoisey color. Okay. My son loves watching the lives. It's cute. Well, you know, I've been starting a YouTube channel. I have my own YouTube channel. I hardly have any videos up yet though. He's like, Mom, you're gonna lose subscribers. And so he's, anyway, but he really wants to do that. So I was like, well, you're only 8, but when you're old enough, we'll get you one of these. You can hang it on my frame. We'll get you set up. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna take the green and the blue, and I'm just gonna snake them both. I just think it's so much fun working with your hands, you know? And you know, some people insist they're not creative, but there are so many different ways to be creative, and I don't even just mean with your hands either. Oh, Bogey's right behind me. Oh, hi, baby. And I did one a little longer than the other, but they, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect. And you could even add another color if you wanted to, but I like to just sort of just kind of roll them together. And you don't want to mix them too much. And then depends on. You can make much bigger ones too. It depends on the size you want to make. And then you could, like if you wanted to do, well, let's do some longer ones. If you wanted to do them a little bit longer, you could cut them like that. And you could keep them you could square it up, or you could just roll it. And then you just want to square either way, you want to just kind of get the ends even. And then you just take your little tool and go right through. And you definitely want to clean up the end, like I showed you before. But, and bigger beads, we did much bigger beads with the kids. Gosh, I think they were like, you know, a little smaller than this, you know, but because it was easier for them to put the holes, you know, they need to make the holes big enough to really get the string through themselves. And but you know, it's really fun, and they got to mix the colors, and I know I have it somewhere, but if I find it, I'll post a picture. We made that a couple years ago. But this was kind of the other way you can do it to make a bead too. Let me just show you really quick. These are hook and eye, you know, little screws. Sometimes like you can find them in the jewelry aisle. Usually, and you would just make the little pokeball or whatever, but just say a blue bead, whatever, and then you twist the, you know, you just kind of put that in, stick it in, and bake it, and then it'll be in there really good. You can also do this, which I'm going to do pretty soon. I'm going to do, for our, Julie and I, for our event, we're going to do like bigger, flatter lips. I have a cookie cutter I'm going to do with the red. That's why I have so much red. And what I'm going to do is it's lip shaped, and then we're going to take rhinestones and put our names on with their little tiny rhinestones, stick it right in the clay. You bake it, and the directions are right on the back of they're right on the Sculpey, and you can look it up online. So you could just Google Sculpey and how long do you put it in your oven, and it'll tell you. I believe it's like for quarter of an inch is I think 10 10 or 15 minutes, or might even be 12. So check, check that. But there's different brands. There's Sculpey, and then there's like another brand too. I forget the name of it, but it's the same idea. But in case the directions are a tiny bit different, just make sure you check the directions. Okay, so what was I just talking about? I lost track. Do you remember the last thing I was saying? I just wanted to finish that thing.
I think it was.
Oh yeah. So you bake it with the rhinestones in it, and then after it's done cooling off, you would just take a little something, end of a knife, whatever, and just it's not hard to get the rhinestones out. And then you want to get a special glue. Forget the name of it, but there's 2 different kinds. I will post that in the comments. And then you just put them back in with the glue. But that way, if you bake it with them on there, and they have to make sure they're glass. You don't want to bake the plastic. They do make some plastic ones. Those will melt. But if you get the glass ones, you can totally just bake it on there. That way, if they bake with it on there, the hole's not going to shrink at all or anything. It's going to stay, the same, and then they'll fit really well. So anyway, you can do that too. So you can make some bling if you want to. You can make beads with beads with rhinestones on them too. That'd be really pretty. Well, you might not like that, but I would. So anyway, I will post all those things I was talking about in the comments, including the stretches for your back. And I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry if it was too long. I just kind of get in the moment and lose track of time sometimes. But if you make anything, post in the comments, and have a good rest of the summer, and I will see you next week.